guys, so I just got home and while I was at work, Trevor's present came in. I got it delivered to my work. So we are gonna go ahead and start wrapping presents, which is the best part about the holidays. And I don't mean that sarcastically. I really truly love wrapping presents. It's my favorite holiday activity. And I do have to say, I am pretty great at it. So I'll show you guys like a few different styles that I like to do. I also picked up some supplies today, so I'll show you what I like to make sure I always have on hand so that I can wrap nice presents that look beautiful and everything in case you are looking for some wrapping inspo for your presents. Okay, so I got all of my supplies out. So a few things that you need to make sure that you are like good and set and ready to go for wrapping is obviously ample tape. Make sure that you have enough tape. This is actually probably not even enough. I need to probably go get more. Labels. Because honestly, people sometimes like don't think that this is like important to make sure that you have on hand. But it is, because once you wrap the present, you can easily forget what's inside or get mixed up. So you want to label them right away. You definitely want wrapping paper. Obviously, you're gonna need that. That's, again, muy importante here. Curling ribbon, super important, obviously. We have bows somewhere, and I can't remember where they are. Honestly, I'm not that concerned. I don't really want to do the bow stuff right now. But if you really want to level up your wrapping game, I highly suggest getting wire ribbon. This is gonna look so much prettier than sticking on those like little pre-made bows or whatever. This is seriously gonna take your gifts to the next level. And if you want to be really extra like me, for this year I got these. These are like these little velvet bows with a bell on them. I usually use things like these on the kids' gifts just because it's like kind of fun and extra for them. But in the past I've used like little ornaments or I've used bells and stuff, and honestly that's super easy to do. You just go to the dollar store and it's super affordable. So highly suggest going to the dollar store for your wrapping supplies because you can get things like this where you can add it to the present just to make it look like you tried a little bit harder. And then obviously I've supplied myself with some tissue paper, and I think, oh, and then of course a good pair of scissors, key. And you know, if you're gonna be wrapping a lot of stuff, grab a snack because it's a lot of work, honestly. All right, so I'm gonna start with Trevor's gift just because I need to wrap it obviously before he gets home. I don't want him to see it. And he does watch my vlogs sometimes, so I'm not gonna show you guys what I got him. You guys will see it on Christmas with him. Okay, but obviously boxes like this are going to be the easiest to wrap. I am just going to leave this in its shipping box just because it is easier. And I'm just going to close it up just so that it stays flush. I'm like not trying to make it hard for him to open, so I'm not going to like go crazy here. One year, Trevor literally wrapped up one of my gifts in about 17 layers of tape. It was such a pain in the ass, and as much as I would like to get him back for this, I take pride in my wrapping, so I'm not gonna do that. And it's fine if it's not sticking straight down, like if it's popping up a little bit, because when you start wrapping it, it's gonna flatten itself out. So, this is all set, ready to be wrapped. So be careful if you have nails like mine, because like obviously these are sharp and they can puncture the paper, especially if you're wrapping on carpet like I am, like I actually already did. This is like the second attempt here. Okay, so you want to measure it, make sure that it's gonna reach just barely, but you know what, we will take it because the other option on wrapping paper is gold, and Trevor hates gold, so we'll keep the silver. Whoop. So you're going to want to pull this as tight as possible. And then if you're me, you always lose your tape and you have to constantly open up a new one. Okay, so pull it tight as you can get it. And you just need one small piece of tape for that. And then I like to come around on the other side and be careful when you do this. And I just kind of like to push and pull a little bit, make sure it's as tight as it can get. Oh my God, look at that. Look how perfectly that lined up. Okay, and then for this side, I'm gonna use 2 pieces of tape because I really want it to be as secure as possible. One. Hi, Pip. Nope. And 2. So this one's just like a standard wrap. I'm not doing any fancy pleating or anything, and because of that, I am gonna do a nicer bow on it. So just fold in the sides. And with wrapping, just make sure that you're pulling in the sides as much as possible without ripping the paper, obviously, flattening everything out, trying to get those nice, clean sides and everything. All right. And then for the flap on the side, especially when it's too long like this one is, and also I have a little bit of the bottom side of the paper sticking out, I'm gonna fold it in and pull it up. And I'm just gonna push and press in all the sides, make sure that it's as taut as I can get it. And the first side is always gonna be a little bit looser, to be honest, because when I go to wrap it on this side, I'm gonna flip this over so that this side is down. Use 2 pieces there. If it's a little loose, I'll just go in and get one more piece in there. That's fine. Okay, so this is what I mean by it's fine if this side is a little bit loose. It's because you're gonna flip it like that, and that'll push it down and make it tight. And then you guys can't see it, but you're just gonna fold in the other side as well, tucking in the edges, making that triangle. So there you go. Nice, like perfectly wrapped rectangle. Okay, and then since this is a plainer wrap, we are gonna go ahead and go in with some wire ribbon on this one and just make a really pretty bow. And this is actually a pretty big present. So I'm gonna see, I think I can actually use a full roll on this one. It's once around, you wanna be able to go around 4 times to measure out the longest part, obviously. 3, 4, and then there's a little bit extra, so yeah, might as well just use up the whole thing here. And then this part is just like normal. You want to run it over the top, flip it over, and then this is where I generally like to make sure that it's even. And then for this, just make sure that you keep the top on top, obviously, and get as tight as you can here, and back around. And this is where the fact that it's wire really comes in handy. And again, I want to make sure that the top is showing, so I'm going to twist it and go ahead and make the bow. So when you go this way, little tip here, the bottom should be showing, because then when you loop it through, the top will be out. Pull it through as tight as you can get it, and just fluff up the bow. Just kind of finagle it, make sure that it's nice and centered, and there you go. Looks much nicer than just sticking one of those like stick-on bows or anything. Looks like you put a little bit more effort into it. Yes, it does cost a little bit more to wrap it like this, so I usually like to save this for presents that are for someone special, like Trevor, obviously. And then, like I said, label it right away. Okay, then moving on to one of the kids' gifts, that's gonna get like a fancier situation. I'm gonna take some paper, obviously. Whoop. And this time, I'm gonna put it facing upward. And I'm gonna go ahead, fold one side down, just a small piece of tape to keep it secure. And then for this, I'm gonna do like a special pleating. So I'm just gonna do, bless you, Spartacus, one fold, and then honestly, I'm just the type, I really want my pleats to be like nice and taut, so I just go ahead and do a little hit of tape right in there just to hold it. Then fold it down, try to get as straight as possible. Honestly, kind of eyeballing it, and then just fold the other side in and kind of measure it out as you flatten. See if you can get it as even as possible. It's not always perfect, but you know, do what you can. And then for this one, I'm gonna take a little loop of tape, place it right underneath, and press it down. Believe it or not, this was actually the first technique I ever learned to wrapping presents. And it makes such a big impact, like that little pleat, it just seems like you did a little bit more. And for this one, because it is flat, I'm just gonna put these in. You're gonna press it down flat against the side. Hold it down once so that that edge isn't showing. Pull it as tight as I can go underneath. And I always use 2 pieces of tape here. They don't have to necessarily be big pieces of tape. I want it to be pulled evenly on both sides so that it'll stay tight. And do the same, oops, with the other side. And then that's what it looks like from the top. And for this, since this is a kid's gift, I am gonna get a little fancy with it. I'm gonna take a little bit of curling ribbon. Honestly, I don't need too much for this. Measure it the longer way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a half-ish. That should be good. Or actually, I like to truthfully just kind of grab as much as I want. Spartacus! Sorry guys. And just kind of the same technique as the wire ribbon. Just around. Make sure it's still the top of the ribbon that's showing. Make sure it's tight. Flip back the other way. And truthfully, for this one, what I like to do is loop it underneath. To make sure that I'll get it as tight as possible. Oop, come on. Come on. There we go. Okay. And go ahead and tie it down. And pull as tight as you can go. And then, like I said, I like to have excess, and that's for a reason. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. And then I'm gonna use the excess for more curling. Pull that. Take your scissors, be careful. Don't try this at home if you're a kid. And pull. I like to do it twice because I like mine to have a really good curl. Then I just kind of like pull it out if I feel like I want it to have a little bit more space. One, and 2. And on that second pull, I do it a lot lighter. I don't put as much pressure on it. 1 and 2. Okay, pull at these just a little bit. There's a couple that got a little bit tight for my liking. Now that's not it. I know you're like, that's not impressive. This isn't the finished product. Like I said, this is a kid's gift. So I'm gonna take one of these little guys, and then these do have like the wire backing to them. And I'm just gonna loop it through. And they will have their parents helping them unwrap these, so just keep that in mind when you do this, because obviously you don't want like a really small child to be like playing with this unsupervised, so make sure that it's, you know, you're doing it at an event where there's like adults by and stuff. But then there you go. It looks a little bit special. You just added a little extra touch to it so that it's not like your standard kind of wrapping job. Okay, and then the last technique, this one is for my parents. We are going traveling with them this year, so we got them a little digital frame because they like to take a ton of pictures, and then this way they can just like upload all of the photos from our trip into just one frame and it can rotate for them. So for this one, it is going to require more paper than the other ones. Gonna be like an odd cut on this, honestly. So I just want to make sure, yeah, that's more than enough to cover. I think I only need 2. Yep. Okay. So So I want to make sure that A is gonna cover. See, that's good. And then we're gonna do multiple pleating. So I'm gonna make sure it goes all the way even to this side because that's how much I'm gonna need. And you guys, my dad is a master wrapper, so I need to make sure that this one is super tight. And there's one side. And then I am just gonna go ahead and cut this in half because I don't need this side, so I can save that for a different present. And honestly, my suggestion is to not wrap on carpet. I know that that's what I'm doing right now. We just don't have another surface in our house. And honestly, being on carpet is more comfortable on my tush, but you run the risk of accidentally puncturing the paper whenever you wrap on carpet. Just a little tiny tip for you guys. Take it or leave it. I'm going to line these, make sure it's straight. First off, secure it and flatten it out really good. So like I said, this one's going to my dad. Okay. And that's a really easy trick. Just pull underneath here, especially if it's flat, and it should pull all the excess out. Turn it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm actually going to do a higher pleat and put it all the way up here. So I'm going to fold it, and this is where the lines on the inside of the paper come in clutch because you can see how straight you're folding it on the underside, which helps you align it when you fold it up top. But okay, put one piece of paper in there again so it's nice and tight, and we're going to do multiple pleats here. So I'm going to fold one pleat down. Perfect. Fold it back, just right over that first pleat. And I am going to use a little bit more tape. Again, normally I don't do this, but this is my dad's present. I may get a little criticism on how much tape I use, but at least it'll look really, really nice. And fold it again, and this part is a lot easier because then you can measure it. You can actually like physically see how it's gonna line up. There you go. And you can see right there, it creates this little double pleat effect. You can go up to 3 if you want. I wouldn't suggest going past 3. I'm just gonna do 2 here. And just pull it out, try to get it even. Loop your tape. Cool. So for this, I am going to use the stick-on ribbons. Because I did do a double pleat, that's really, really nice. So I am going to go a little bit less on the ribbons, and I'm going to go with a stick-on ribbon. But for these, I never like to use just one. And you might think that that's a waste, but honestly, when you stick on 3 like that in a cluster, it looks like a much nicer presentation than when you do just one. So I'm gonna do the 3. You can judge me all you want for it, but I just think that it looks way nicer. And I personally like to do it up in the corner. I think that it balances it out a little bit better, especially when you use just like one bow here in the center. That just looks like, I don't know, it just looks basic and like you didn't really try that hard. These bows are so cheap. You can definitely do multiples, and I don't know about you, but in our family, like the kids like to take them home and like play with them for a little while even after Christmas. So it's not like really a waste for us because they're getting like joy out of it and they're actually like using it. So we always give like the kids the bows and stuff. And look at that. It's not your basic wrapped present. It's got the double pleat right here. It's got the 3 bows. I didn't do as much work as like when I use the wire ribbon or add on like the little bell and stuff with the curling ribbon. But this is still really simple but nice because it has those little extra details. And I never like to stick the like label in the center. I always try to put it up somewhere near the bow. Just like that. And a really, really fun little tidbit here. I label all the presents from my family from me and Boo Boo Bear. Boo Boo Bear is Trevor's nickname that I gave him, and my family thinks it's hilarious, so I put that name on all of the presents. But I am gonna continue wrapping here. There's a lot of presents to get through. I have a very large family, and then also I have like Trevor's family full of presents that I need to get through. I just wanted to make sure though that his present was wrapped before he came home because I did not want him to see it. You're good. In case you're wondering, this is sour cream and onion Chex Mix. It's bomb.com. It's amazing. Highly recommend. You can only find it at Stater Brothers. I've tried to look for it like a million other places, and I can only find it at Stater Brothers. So if you want to give this a try, and if you're a fan of sour cream and onion and Chex Mix, definitely go to Stater Brothers and grab a bag of this because I will literally eat this whole thing in one sitting. It's so good.
A merry little Christmas.
So we are making good progress over here. Got a good amount wrapped up. They're all looking really, really nice, if I do say so myself. That is some clutch wrapping we've got going on. Oh my god, you guys. What the hell is the matter with me? I didn't plug in any of the Christmas lights. Alright, we got the outside lights on. Sorry, this is the same shot as the vlog from yesterday, but you know, it's fine. Now this is looking great. Look at that. Got like a whole setup. Let's go ahead and light the star. There it is. Look at that. It's Christmas in here with a cat. My god. Looks so great with all of the presents down below. These beautifully wrapped presents. I'm sure you guys are annoyed with me by now, but like, come on. Those look phenomenal. I don't always brag about things about myself, but I'm very, very proud of my wrapping skills, so I'm gonna brag. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for today's Vlogmas. One more view of the tree with all the presents underneath. That's not all of them. I have a ton of presents that I need to wrap. I will probably be wrapping in a few more Vlogmases because my family is massive. But I think that's it on wrapping for today. I want to spread it out so I can enjoy it more throughout the holiday season. So I will see you in the next Vlogmas, which is going to be my birthday Vlogmas. So yay.